so in love with you.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers, you guys. So as the cost of home ownership continues to surge, more and more homeowners are going to continue to go into foreclosure as we move on throughout the year. And the reason primarily that is, you guys, is no more massive double-digit equity growth. No more rates in the 2%. There's going to be no more stimulus, and the cost of living has skyrocketed from property taxes skyrocketing, from homeowners insurance skyrocketing, flood insurance skyrocketing, EIDL loans, school loans, gas prices, food prices, all of those prices and all of the inflation that continues to put pressure on all of us just to afford to live is also skyrocketing. So we are going to continue to see a massive surge in these foreclosures. Now, today's video, we're going to do a deep dive into Black Knight's updated information and updated data on the defaults, delinquencies, and current foreclosures in our market. So I think you guys are going to find, which is essentially, it is very alarming because quite frankly, you guys, right now, absolutely nobody should be going into foreclosures because we are coming out of a housing market with massive year-over-year double-digit equity growths and historically low interest rates. So the fact that we have any foreclosures at all should alarm you. Now, as always, you guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a YouTuber, opinion sharer. I am a realtor in Texas and a loan officer in Texas, so I have a bit of experience when it comes to real estate stuff. Now, as always, if you can, like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and as always, comment on this video and share with me your insights and share with me your experiences and overall opinion on this video. But let's jump into the first round of data from Black Knight right now that essentially represents 2022 March data for delinquencies and for foreclosure starts. Take a look at this information right now. So here's the updated March data for Black Knight, okay, for foreclosures and delinquencies. So I look at a few things on these reports. The number one thing I'm looking at is the delinquency rate. So the delinquency rate has actually gone down. The delinquency rate right now is 2.84%. Now, I believe any percent of delinquency rate is high, again, because we're in an environment where people should be able to sell their home easily. So the fact that we're this high is actually super alarming. Now, here's the other number I'm looking at. The total number of foreclosure starts coming to the market, which for March is 24,300, which is a year-over-year increase of 386%. Now, here's the thing, you guys. Now, obviously, 386%, that is an inflamed percentage, right? That is an inflated percentage because it's a year-over-year comparison that is essentially comparing March of 2021 when foreclosure starts were essentially banned, right? Or foreclosures were essentially banned. So the 300% is not a real big indicator on exactly what's going on. In order for us to see how big the problem is, what we're going to have to do today is we're going to have to compare March 2022 to March of 2020, essentially pre-COVID, to see what foreclosures were like prior to us going into lockdown. So what we're going to do is we're going to explore that data right now. So first, I want to bring up a chart that essentially goes up until February of 2022, because I want to take a look at the actual delinquency rates just to see how we compare. Now, remember, right now, we should be lower across the board. Why should we be lower across the board? I keep telling you, double-digit equity growth and super low interest rates. So no one should be going into foreclosure. But let's start with looking at the February chart right now. Take a look at this. Okay, guys, so here's the chart. This is a year-long chart from February 2022 to February 2021. Okay, so you see that? Now, what's really interesting here, like I said, is foreclosure starts just went active again, essentially January 2022 of this year, right? But I want to point out, look at the delinquency rates. We're at 3.36 for February and 3.3 for January. So, what I'm telling you guys is that's a lot, but we're going to compare that to pre-pandemic, right? Because I'm saying this a lot, but we really need to compare where we were at before we went into the pandemic. Now look at January. January had 32,900 foreclosure starts. February had 25 foreclosure starts. So essentially in March, this number went down as the delinquency. And the fact that the delinquency went down, that's a big surprise to me, because what I'm thinking is moving forward, y'all, as we go into 2022 and as all of the prices for just regular cost of living things go up and it continues to surge, and interest rates continue to go up and equity growth continues to go down, we're going to have a massive, massive surge in foreclosures. It's actually more expensive to live now, obviously, than pre-pandemic. So everything right now, post-pandemic, it's more money. Things are obviously inflated all over the place. So essentially what I'm saying is it's going to get much worse. So you guys also remember this. Of March in this year, we had 24,300 foreclosure starts. And the delinquency rate was about 2.8%, but 3.3%, 3.5% January, February. Okay, so that is the numbers that we're going to look at. Now, remember what I'm telling you. Things were a lot cheaper pre-COVID, so the numbers should be much higher, right? But right now we're starting with 24,000 foreclosure starts at a 2.8% delinquency, a little bit more than 2.8. But let's look at pre-COVID numbers right now. I think you're going to be surprised. So take a look at this, guys. So March 2020, we had 27,600 foreclosure starts, which essentially means we had only about 3,000 more foreclosure starts in March. So the fact that this number, March of 2020, which is pre-COVID, is almost the same as March right now, means that we are in trouble, because remember, we're coming out of an era of super cheap money. The foreclosure starts are fixing to skyrocket, as is the delinquency rate. But what I also want to show you is what the average delinquency rate was in 2022 and in 2019. And as you look here, 3.46, 3.4, 3.5, 3.3, 3.5, 3.4, 3.2, right? And then foreclosure, and then basically right here in April of 2020, foreclosures stopped. And that's why you see foreclosure starts down so much and delinquencies up so much, because people can go delinquent and essentially not have any penalty. A lot of people could anyways. But this is what I'm noticing. Our delinquency rate is already pre-pandemic. Do you guys see that? So it's already showing signs that we are going to head into that initial surge of foreclosures. And the fact that the foreclosure starts are actually already close to pre-pandemic is another sign that we are headed into pain, right? We are headed into a 2022 and a 2023 that is going to be very, very expensive, and is going to be very different from the last 2 years of our lives. It's basically a whiplash effect. We're going from super cheap and in some situations free money to much more expensive money and hard to get money. With everything inflated, it's essentially really difficult to live right now because there's so many expenses. We don't know what's going to go up next, right? Flood insurance just went up for my houses, on top of homeowners insurance, on top of property taxes. So there are so many things going on right now that have not even started, like school loans and EIDL loans, that are fixing to hit the everyday homeowner. Everyday homeowners right now are under attack. And that's why I'm constantly telling you guys, if you're buying right now, make sure you got a couple sources of income. A recession is right around the corner, right? And you may want to sit out, especially if you're a first-time homeowner. But I hope you guys see the point I'm trying to make. Absolutely no one should be going into foreclosure right now. So the fact that we're so close to pre-pandemic foreclosure rates will show you guys that bad things are fixing to come. And here's why. The process of foreclosure takes time. So all those foreclosure starts, they may have been delinquent 4 or 5 months ago when we were still getting cheap money, interest rates were still low, and equity was still going up, because it is a process. Now, again, I really hope you guys can see the data that I'm trying to show you guys, but I'm going to end this video on a few opinions that I want to conclude. The number one thing that I want to kind of end with you guys is absolutely no one should be going into a foreclosure right now. Double-digit equity growth and super low interest rates. And the fact that we are having people already go into foreclosure at pre-pandemic levels is a sign of really bad things to come and a sign of foreclosure surges. Now, because the foreclosure process actually drags on for several months, I want to give you guys an estimate of when I think all of the foreclosure surges are going to begin, and essentially when I think all of the foreclosures are going to start hitting our housing market enough to make a pretty noticeable increase in inventory, okay? So this is what I'm thinking. Again, because of all of the stimulus is gone, cheap money is gone, double-digit equity growth is going to stop, EIDL loans, school loans, property taxes, homeowners insurance, flood insurance, gas prices, food prices, and all the other inflation. Because that is going to get worse, the foreclosures are going to surge and surge and surge by Q3 of this year. So I'm saying, you guys, listen, August, September of this year, we're going to start seeing delinquency rates 5, 6%. We're going to start seeing foreclosure starts 40,000 homes, 50,000 homes. Mark my words, I absolutely love doing these videos because we can cross-reference this. So we're going to be able to track how right I actually am. But that's what I'm saying. Q3, we're going to start seeing surges and surges. Now, Q4 of this year, I suspect we are going to start seeing an abundance of foreclosures hitting our housing market, which will in essence give us more needed inventory. Now, I don't want the inventory this way, right? Because people lose their homes. People are in pain. We don't want people in pain. We want homeowners to win. We want homeowners to succeed. But nevertheless, you guys, it is very important to follow this data. And the reason it's important to follow this data is because there's so many people out right there that are purchasing homes based on the fear of missing out. And what I'm saying is you do not want to purchase homes right now based on emotion. Better no deal than a bad deal. Better to pay a higher interest rate than for an overpriced house. Do y'all see all the points I'm trying to make? I'm trying to give you guys more hope. Going into the future of 2022, it's going to start being a noticeable transition across the nation into a buyer's market. Now, we've already seen that start happening in certain areas, especially coastal areas in Southern California. We have that data now, but that's going to spread throughout the nation because, quite frankly, the affordability and or the lack thereof was the biggest, most damaging thing to our housing market, minus the fear of missing out. Anyways, you guys, those are my opinions. Just keep watching the foreclosure data. I'm really worried for a lot of people because I know expenses and just to live life are going up every single week, and the foreclosure starts are lagging behind. So we're not going to see how much people are affected right now until months from now, right? That's what I'm saying. So keep watching that chart, you guys. You're going to see the delinquency surge and foreclosure start surge. Although I don't want that to happen, it's going to happen because of all of the things that I just listed. Now, as always, you guys, I really appreciate you guys taking this journey with me. I appreciate you guys watching my videos and commenting on my videos. And if you guys are out there investing in real estate, I wish you luck and I hope you win.